My eyes! Why are they always acting up every time? Nissan, you told me this pain will go away, but it doesn't go away at all. It just hurts even more. I only see darkness, Nissan! Vroom, vroom! Vroom, vroom! Ah! I made a part 1 to this little thing I did before. You can see that down below, but if I forget to see it, put it down below, because sometimes I do that. You know, it's the same title, just without the part 2. Anyways, unfortunately, I lived a life to where I could talk about many occasions to where anime has fucked me up, and I realized this, and I thought I could either let it be to myself and not talk about it, which there's no point, you know, to not anymore, or I could talk about it, because there's no point. I kind of knocked out 2 birds in 1 stone with the last comment. Goku, can you please sit down? I'm gonna need you to sit down. Come on, almost there. No, that's not it. First off, I remember in anime, they do this cliche, just wanna mention it, because I do this a lot so you guys can know what type of dude I am, you know, when they adjust their glasses real quick with that one finger. I do that sometimes just for the meme. Back in the day, okay, I used to play with toys a lot because that was just the thing that I did. And you know, with toys and anime, they kind of went hand in hand growing up. When I would see something pretty dope on like Naruto, I would reenact it with my toys, with my imagination too, like the kick it spot for where I play with my toys was always in the bathroom. I think that kind of fucked up my poops. My poop game is laggy now because I spent so much time in the bathroom as a kid growing up. Now when I'm in the bathroom, I'm just always in there for a long period of time, kind of not really doing anything when the job is done. I'm just sitting there like, I feel like I need to be here. Don't know why, but now as I'm thinking back, that's probably why. Now, I had multiple toys back then growing up, and the one toy that stood out to me that I made sure was my go-to was a toy called Gambit. When I got, you know, income to be able to do things and move and do a lot of shit, whatever, the first thing I did was rebought the toy that I, you know, was playing with a lot as a kid because it meant a lot to me. This was my dude, okay? I have multiple toys with me. I took like a handful in the bathroom, but Gambit was always there. It's kind of like Toy Story, how like Andy always had like Buzz Lightyear or fucking Woody, you know? This was my both. Okay, I did have a Green Goblin, but my other dog named Roshi ate his feet, so he kind of, you know, got pushed to the side, and it was just me and my mans. The thing about my toy game is when I grew up, I had kids that also played with toys around me in the areas that were, you know, there was 2 kids that bullied me once upon a time. Their actual name is Devin and Andrew, but me and Devin were the same age. So Devin liked to play with toys, so I liked getting Devin into my world of imagination sometimes, and it would piss me off when he couldn't follow along, all right? What I mean by that is I had an anime lore, like set the fuck up, pretty heavily with my toy gang. Like each character of my toys had a specific role within the role of the anime that I set up, whatever you want to call it, you know, the world, the universe that I made for them. They had an important role, and I explained it to him. I told Devin, this is serious shit. Gambit, he is the main character. He is like Goku. He is pretty much Goku. He can fly, Kamehameha. All right, see my man, toy version Gohan? Yeah, that is his son. He's also pretty good, but you know, he's kind of in between. You know, he knew the lore, and he never stuck to the story. It would piss me off. It would piss me the fuck off when he would take my man Toy Gohan and then make Toy Gohan the main villain. I'm like, no, stop. No, he is the son of the main character. Stop it. So on and so forth. The people I did meet in my life as a kid growing up that did play with toys, you know, I had to try to get them into the lore, and it would always be this back and forth because they would never, you know, play the same way that I would. This is pretty much to explain how deep I was into the toy meta and how I tied it to anime. So growing up into the 3rd grade, now I'm pretty sure I told this story before in some way, shape, or form. So in 3rd grade, I had my homie, one of my best friends that we don't really talk anymore because of some money issues that happened way down the line. But me and him were like squad neck and neck. You know, I still play with toys back then, but not as much because I'm kind of growing out of it in this stage. And there was this one kid in the class that always flexed these Dragon Ball Z toys, and I never knew where to get them, and I just wanted to borrow his, right? But he would never let me borrow them, period. Oh, never let anybody borrow them. But he's over here like playing with it in everybody's face, like, look at this toy, it's so, look at it, look, like, no, bitch, give it to me. Long story short, one day he brought a Kid Buu to the class, and there was like a tier list in toys if you didn't know. Like the toys that can spread their legs apart and move all over the place and their arms can do the same thing. Those are the top tier toys. Like those are the shits, all right? That's kind of why I like, you know, this back in the day growing up. He can move fucking everything, bitch. Like, look at his toe. He can move his toe. I thought that shit was crazy to me, but I digress. I'm seeing this Kid Buu and Vegeta that can move all around. I'm just like, damn, my boy. I want that. So I asked him if I can borrow it.
No, yada yada, no, whatever, fuck, you can't borrow it. I'm sorry, Afro, I'm sorry.
I'm just getting upset at this point. Long story short, he was playing with it in class, and then the teacher, who was pregnant at the time and had like a little bitch fit, took the toy, threw it in the trash, and told him, go f yourself. Brandon was crying hysterically. And then Brandon came to me on some like video game mission shit. Afro, if you get that toy, I'll let you borrow it for however long you want. Granted, I'm pretty sure he was lying. It was kind of like a ruse for me to do it because he wanted me to do his dirty work, understandable. And I'm just like, bet though. I fell into the trap. So I hit up my homie, just like, hey, bet. We got to stay at the school to pick this thing out the trash. And then he let me borrow it, but I'm gonna let you borrow it too. So we'll like fucking add up the time together as a squad. He's like, bet. We stay after school. I make him go in the trash can to get it because I was a little bitch. You know, there's a banana peel in there. I'm just like, nah. So he gets it. We get caught. Brandon came through and he's like, did you get the toy? Nah, we failed. And then Brandon got hella mad. But the thing was, Brandon knew I was about that life because since he played with toys, his imagination was on the same par as mine. So one of the things I did back then that I forgot I did, but thinking back to it, it's funny as fuck to me. Brandon was kind of getting a little bit upset with me. He was talking about some like anime, fictional, I'm gonna beat your ass type shit. I knew he wasn't, but like imagination wise, he was threatening me, saying he was gonna Kamehameha me or some kid shit like that. So I told Brandon, I'm like, Brandon, you need to stop right now. I put my hands up in the air, looking like I'm forming a spirit bomb like Goku's technique, and then Brandon left. He just left. He didn't want to fuck with me at that point because Brandon knew I was packing the heat. He knew I was about the life and he backed away, but that wasn't the end of the arc. That wasn't the end whatsoever because 4th grade comes around and at this point playing with toys is kind of like, you know, it's not really popping anymore, you know? So I didn't talk about toys, neither did he, but he knew I had the shit and you know, he still had some shit too. So Brandon went through some like, some type of metamorphosis and was really down to let people borrow his toys now. Mainly me, because like I said, nobody really talked about it anymore within our year. So I'm like talking to him, he's talking to me, I'm telling him what I got, he's telling me what he got, and we trying to like swap some borrows. At this point, I figured out where to buy those toys that he had back in the day, so I had some heat on deck now, you know, I was ready to go, okay? So I let him borrow a lot of shit, and back then I was kind of naive, so I would let somebody borrow something without getting an equivalent exchange backwards. So he was telling me all this shit like, I'll let you borrow this, toys that had the most beautiful depiction to them, but they never existed. But I'm just like,
yeah, okay, I believe you. When you do that, I will be here waiting, my dude.
Here I am letting him borrow my Ultimate Gohan, my fucking Goku Super Saiyan 3, Goku. This man had like a good handful of my shits that I cherish. So, you know, he told me tomorrow's the day that I'm gonna let you borrow and give you back everything that you let me borrow. I'm just like, bet, okay, Brandon. Brandon didn't show up to school the next day. I'm just like, all right, Brandon must have been sick or he's trying to stay home from school. I see you, I know how it goes, okay? School sucks, I see it, I know, okay? Didn't show up for school the next day. Or the next, nope, he was gone. You know where he went? He moved. He set me up and told me he will let me borrow these toys on the day he knew he was moving. So he robbed me. Shortly after that, Dragon Ball ends, and then I watched Naruto for a bit, you know, because that was the gateway anime for me to save my life from Dragon Ball Z ending. And you know, you saw how Sasuke was about that Avenger life. He was like, I gotta avenge my clan, this and that. For a long time, the toy arc did stop. I stopped playing with the toys so much, but I never stopped imagining myself being Sasuke and Brandon being Itachi.